Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Well, you know what? It's time to really start to get pissy, okay? Um, let's start with the US Army, okay? Now, I know we have some Army men and Army ladies here in our community, and you're going to want to know about this, okay? The U.S. Army has diverted over $151 million that were meant for our soldiers' meals at 11 major bases, leaving troops struggling with inadequate food. Imagine having a $460 a month taken out of your paycheck for meals, only to get served toast and lima beans. That's the reality for U.S. soldiers at 11 major U.S. bases, where the Army literally siphoned off over $151 million that was meant for their food in 2024. In Fort Stewart, which is in Georgia, $17 million was collected, but only $2.1 million was spent on meals. That means 87% has vanished. Schofield Barracks in Hawaii, $14.5 million was taken. That means 63% was redirected, unknown. Of the $225 million that was deducted from soldiers' paychecks in 2024, only $74 million actually fed the troops. Junior enlisted soldiers earning only about, say, $30,000 a year were hit the hardest, scraping by while Army was funneling their meal money, into a mysterious black hole. So where did the money go? Okay, the Army hasn't explained where all of this money has went. Is it just mismanagement? Is it betrayal? Our soldiers deserve better than this. At the very least, better meals, for crying out loud. Okay, now I'm going to show you something personal. Okay, so just hang on a minute. Okay, so you see these clothes right here? These are my son's for the Marine Corps. Whether you believe it or not, these clothes actually are paid for by our soldiers out of their own paychecks as well. Every shirt, every pair of pants, okay? I'm going to show you one thing in particular. You see this jacket? This is a pea coat, okay? Still has the tags on it. It's never even been worn, okay? My son paid for this out of his own paycheck. All right, I just wanted to show you that it's never been worn, okay? See the tag still on it? This cost my son $600, okay? Never even been worn, all right? This is where their funding is going to. This is where our kids' paychecks are going to when they enlist in the military, okay? Can you imagine? Here's my son's blues. Can you imagine how much his blues cost him, okay? So it just goes to show you, more than half of these uniforms, okay, you see this? Never even been worn, okay? So you can just imagine all of these uniforms, and these are dress uniforms, okay? These are all dress. Never even been worn, okay? And even like the little things that they have to wear on their ties, they have to pay for all of this, okay? All of it. So it just goes to show you. And all the damn hats. My son has so many hats. They're hanging up around the house as decoration, because he has literally triple of each hat. Literally. Okay? So it just goes to show you. Here's another one. Brand new. Never been worn. He wore his, what do you call them? Fatigues. Okay? Look. Still with the tags on them. So I just wanted to show you, okay, that this is what really happens to our men and women when they go into the military. $600 for a pea coat that they're never going to wear. That $600, they could have used that to raise their families. That's rent for some of our kids. So, and I'm sure it cost maybe, what, $5 to make that jacket? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of, yeah, you want to call it mismanagement or maybe even fraud. There's a lot that goes on that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration when it comes to not just meals, but also their uniforms. And not just for that, have you ever seen inside of a barracks where they live? Yeah, just saying. No one really knows unless you live that life. Okay, so now on to the next thing. I really wanted you guys to see, okay? Because I really don't think, like I said, unless you live the military life, I really don't think anybody really truly understands. You know, yes, I understand about the food, okay? When Andrew, like when he was in boot camp, he told me, he said, Mom, the food was just god awful. And I said, oh, I can only imagine. He said, but then again, Mom, I'm so used to your food. You know, coming from an Italian household and then going into boot camp, he's just like, Mom, he goes, they tried to serve us something that looked like a meatball, but it didn't taste like a meatball. And I said, well, son, what are you going to do? You know, but, you know, he said that the only meal that was actually really, really good, he said, was the Warriors meal that they ate after they completed the Crucible. But other than that, he said the food throughout entire boot camp was just god awful. He said that he really enjoyed MCT though. If you're not aware of what MCT is where they go to school to learn their trade, in which they enlisted under, and my son was enlisted under engineering. So yeah, he was one of the smart kids. Funny story behind that real quick. When Andrew was in MCT, I had sent him a care package. And the kids, well, they're not kids, but they were allowed to, you know, we could send them, you know, whatever we wanted. And my son wanted his Xbox and stuff like that, you know, because the other guys, they were having like their Xboxes and sent to each other. So I sent him his Xbox and whatever, and I had called the post office on base at Camp Lejeune, and she said, the woman at the post office said, well, what is your son at MCT for? And I said, engineering. She goes, oh, you have one of the smart ones. I said, yeah. But anyway, that's a story. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is another TikToker. You know, these people need to be stopped. I'm not kidding. This is getting ridiculous, okay, with this aiding and abetting crap, okay? She goes by the name Princess Honeybee 26. She's giving updates every single day on where ice is being spotted so that the migrants can avoid going to these areas. She gives these updates on states nationwide. She even drives around and films the ICE and Border Patrol agents to show the migrants the areas to avoid. So, you know, these people who are aiding and abetting really, really, truly need to stop, okay? Because do I feel that charges need to be brought up against these people for aiding and abetting? You damn straight I do. Okay, it's the same thing as harboring a fugitive, aiding and abetting. You know, I mean, they're not bringing these people into their homes, no, but I feel that it's almost like the same thing. You're aiding and abetting. Okay, so yes, I do feel that charges need to be brought up.
Good morning, everyone. It is February 7th. These are some of your daily updates. I'm going to start off with a list of the states that are being hit fairly hard. We are going Texas, North Carolina, California, DC, Georgia, New York, Illinois, Iowa, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New Mexico, and Florida have the most reports. So I made a short list of some of the reports. So at 7:50 a.m. at 313 Taylor Avenue Northwest in Renton, Washington, they were parked. There's 2 reports of that. 8:30 a.m. at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, they were at apartments conducting an arrest. 11:40 a.m. Foothills Way, Fort Mill, 5 waiting outside Circle K and Best. 11:25, they were parked at 6708 Zebulon Road, Wake Forest, North Carolina. They were at the Lexington Trailer Park in Norman, Oklahoma this morning. 11:14, they were walking apartments in Laurel, MD. Patrols on South Broadway in Joshua, Texas. 8 a.m., they were parked at 69th Street and Imperial Avenue in San Diego, California. 9 a.m., they detained 1 on Old Purcell Road in San Antonio, Texas. 11 a.m., there was a raid conducted at Safeway 5521 Connecticut Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C. 8:30 a.m., they were in the AutoZone parking lot conducting a traffic stop on Blanco Road in San Antonio, Texas. 8 a.m., 1 arrest in O'Fallon, Missouri. 10 a.m., pulling people over at the food depot on Morrow Road, Forest Park, Georgia. Sorry, it's early. I just barely finished my coffee and I can't read, apparently. 9 a.m., parked at Love's in Sulphur Springs, Texas. 10 a.m., checkpoint pushing everyone off exit 41, Southern State Parkway in Bayshore, New York. That is extremely concerning, so please be careful if you are driving around the New York area. 6:40 a.m., they were questioning people at bus stops in Glendale, California. 9 a.m. at Oceano Azul, South Harlem Avenue, Stickney, Illinois, pulling people over. 9:45 a.m., Highland Falls, New York, they were doing patrols. 9:50 a.m., they were standing with police officers on 3rd Avenue at the 6th train station in the Bronx, New York. They were seen driving in Postville, Iowa. 8:50 a.m., they were by the Spring Elementary School in Leesburg, Virginia. 6:12, they were in Wilmington, California, seen driving. 9:30 a.m., driving in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. 8:55 a.m., they were conducting a massive stop on Pennsylvania Boulevard in Rock Center, New York. 8 a.m., pulling people over in Detroit, Michigan. 8:30 a.m., they were at the Home Depot in Houston Parkway in Houston, Texas. 8:40 a.m., 6 were seen driving around Clinton Street in Hampstead, New York. 7 a.m., they were walking Castle Avenue and Sharp Avenue in Staten Island. So again, guys, please stay safe. Please stay careful. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Like, share, repost. I hope you watch to the end. Thanks, guys. This is the second cop that was spotted by Point Ruston in Tacoma. This one specifically was an undercover. Watch out, guys. All right, guys, this is the final part and the final part of my updates. In this video, we are going to focus on Florida, DC, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. So starting off, there was a tip that was posted last night that off Chrome Avenue in Homestead, Florida, they were supposed to be walking the street all day. It seems that they have started that around 10:23 a.m., where they were seen off Southwest 280th Street in Homestead, Florida, conducting door knocks. There was multiple reports of that. 11:30, they were behind Starbucks on Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, Florida. From 10 to 11, they were in the Walmart parking lot going up to cars and people in Riverdale, MD. They were at apartments on Hewitt Avenue in Aspen Hills, Maryland. 9 a.m., they were at the Home Depot in McCain Drive in Frederick, Maryland. 11:10 a.m., they were at Goshen Terrace Apartments in Westchester, Pennsylvania. There was 2 reports of that with pictures. 9:52 a.m., they were spotted in Absecon, New Jersey. 11:02 a.m., they were at apartments in Tuckerton, New Jersey. 7 to 8 a.m., they were at apartments searching for someone off 47 Walnut Street in Tom River, New Jersey. There was also 2 reports of that with pictures. 7 a.m., Long Branch Beach, Chelsea Avenue, New Jersey. 8:30 a.m., West 3rd Street in Plainfield, New Jersey. As I said in parts 1 and 2, we are building a website where you can go and report. That should be up and functional very soon. It will be heavily monitored by people and bots. So there should not be any false reports flowing through like there is on other sites. Please stay safe. Please be careful. And if you live in Homestead, Florida, please be so careful. Be so careful today. Good afternoon, everybody. It is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. We are going to discuss everything that's happened nationwide this afternoon since I missed out on this morning due to work. So we're going to talk about Utah, California, Texas, Florida, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, and Maine have been the states with verifiable reports. The only reason I'm including Utah is because it was at 6 a.m. this morning. They conducted a raid using flashbangs at 644th North and 900 West in Salt Lake City. There was 1 arrest in Santa Ana, California. At 1:08, they were driving around Refugio, Texas. 4 p.m., they were at the Walmart parking lot in Grand Prairie, Texas. 5 p.m., they were parked off 155 South in Palestine, Texas. They've been spotted all throughout the day today, and please forgive me, Wimmuma, Florida. I'm not from there. I don't know how to say that. Somebody please tell me. At noon, there were arrests made at the Walmart in Frederick, Maryland. At 1:20, they were parked at St. Paul's off 5th Avenue and Craig Street in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1:18, they were parked at the Federal Plaza in Central Islip, New York. 2 p.m., 3 were seen walking the Odessa area in Framingham, Massachusetts. 1:11, they were at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds in Falcon Heights, Minnesota. As always, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Know your rights. Take care of each other. Thank you, guys.
So this last thing that we're going to be talking about is extremely interesting. With the federal employees that are being furloughed or laid off or whatever you want to call it, and no, my husband is safe, so no need to worry about the officers at Homeland Security. They, I guess they're running scared. The federal employees, they are running scared, and there is a mass exodus. All hell is breaking loose, y'all. And everybody in like Arlington, Virginia and the DC area, houses are up for sale. Literally. I mean, they are just, everybody's house is up for sale and everybody is, they are fleeing. And I was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, holy cow, that's crazy. And I mean, every single house, it's either, I'm going to show you a video. It's either listed as new or coming soon. Y'all, seriously. I mean, I live in Tampa, okay? You don't even see that many listings here. And Tampa is crazy with the real estate market right now. You don't even see that many listings here, okay? Just saying. Ciao.
This is wild. The real estate market in Washington, D.C. and neighboring areas is exploding with new listings, meaning everybody is putting their house up for sale. And you might wonder, why is that? Well, people believe it's because 75,000 federal workers accepted President Trump's early buyout offer. After what DOJ discovered the USAID was spending money on, that workforce is expected to go from 10,000 down to 300. Just today, 1,300 federal employees that work for the CDC were laid off, and the IRS is expected to cut their workforce by 10%. And you also have the executive order that was signed to bring all federal employees to work back in the office. Currently in the Metro DC area, there are 5,581 homes for sale, and 2,183 of those were listed in the last month. This is the neighboring town of Arlington, Virginia. In the past 48 hours, look at all of the new listings. You can see them because they're tagged with that green coming soon sign. It's looking like a mass exodus from Washington, D.C. and the neighboring areas. And some might say this is what draining the swamp looks like. What do you think? As always, let me know down below.